Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel, the second video of the day. Chelsea news again, and unfortunately, after I had a little rant about Chelsea selling Mason Mount to Man United in my earlier video, I'm afraid I'm still a bit annoyed here in this one today regarding the potential sale of Mateo Kovacic to Manchester City. I'm going to go through this because with the Mount story, there's a lot more negatives than positives, whereas with Kovacic to Man City, it kind of makes sense. His form has deteriorated massively, but first of all, we're going to go through the rest of the news because this is the main talking point of the video, but we're going to start with the Mount information. A lot of the video that I made earlier was more like a rant based on why I don't think we should sell him, but the news is that Manchester United will accelerate talks with Chelsea regarding Mason Mount. Personal terms are close to being agreed, but United will continue the conversation with Chelsea after the FA Cup final. Chelsea at the moment are sitting looking for 85 million for Mount, which, considering there's 1 year left on his deal, that's asking for a lot when United value him at 55 million pounds. If Mount wants to leave, Manchester United know that Chelsea will sell Mount this summer if he doesn't sign a new deal. So the willingness to budge for Manchester United is probably not going to be very strong, and I don't think Chelsea will be stubborn enough, considering we need to sell players and make some money. Chelsea are probably not going to accept 55 million, but to expect us to get 85 mil from a player with 1 year left on his deal, I think we're asking for too much, and we're not going to get it, and we probably won't even need to wait it out. I think with this Mount saga, we need to get it done. We need him to, if he's going to be sold, he needs to be sold, and we need to negotiate very hard and quickly with Man United to get it done. That's not me saying I want it to be done. If you want to know my thoughts, check out today's previous video. And before we talk about any other news stories, there are two more massive giveaways on the GBFC Telegram. We're giving away a signed Frank Lampard shirt and 2 VIP Platinum tickets to the opening game of the season in VIP. So if you're not yet in the Telegram, link in the description. We're picking a winner in a few weeks' time, so make sure you got notifications on there. The next story is like a bit of a dead rubber story, to be honest, but Galatasaray are opening talks with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang for a move to Turkey. Which, let's be real, if any of you oppose this opinion, please let me know in the comments below. Aubameyang leaving the club is great, because he should never have signed for us in the first place. Maybe at times I felt sorry for him when Chelsea needed a goal scorer and he's just like frozen out, shunned out of the team. But Aubameyang to Galatasaray, it's not going to take up any more of your time or my time in today's video. The next thing we're going to discuss is Ugarte. The current situation with Ugarte. We're led to believe, at the moment, this is what we know, Ugarte prefers a move to Chelsea over Paris Saint-Germain. Sporting Lisbon are happy with both the offers financially from both Chelsea and PSG, but Chelsea have offered half the salary that PSG have offered. Now, what I said in the Mount video was, it's all well and good, Chelsea trying to be smarter with money, not being able to offer more than 5-year contracts due to new rules and regulations, but at the same time, why do I feel as though this summer could end up being one of those summers where, because these new owners are still new to this game, they're new to English football, they're new to Chelsea, they're new to dealing with the transfer market. This is their third market now, and after spending all of that money and it not going so well, Chelsea are in a position again where we do need new, better players. We've got Pochettno in as a manager who, in hindsight, we could have employed 10 months ago and probably wouldn't be in the position we're in now. I think we'd be doing significantly better, even with the players that we bought. But now, it looks as though Chelsea have gone from being the splash the cash club to the cash strapped, we can't offer Mount a new deal, we can't match PSG for Ugarte, even though he's our new manager who's not started work yet, #1 target, and we could lose out on Ugarte because Paris Saint-Germain have offered double the salary, which 6 million a year for a 22-year-old is mad. Money in football now is mad. The approach I'm taking with this is, if he's Pochettino's guy, Chelsea, considering we're going to be offloading players like Ruben, possibly N'Golo Kante, high wage earners at the club, we can't go skimping out now on targets. Because players like Ugarte, Caicedo, they're high in demand players. Spurs are probably going to enter the conversation for Ugarte if he doesn't want to go to PSG, but Chelsea won't cough up the money. Chelsea need to be careful here that we don't go so far on that seesaw from just throwing money willy-nilly to skimping out and ending up not doing the business early. I've said this time and time again. Chelsea have better seasons when the manager in charge knows the squad he's working with at the beginning of pre-season. We don't have numerous names joining towards the end who are trying to fit into the squad, bed into the team, gel, all of those little buzzwords. Chelsea need to get business done early. We know we got to sell 10 to 15 players, and we know that we need to bring in 4 high-quality players. So if we lose out on Ugarte for this, I think it's going to bite us in the backside. And I think overall, we've got to remember, with no Champions League football, it is a less attractive prospect this season to sign top quality players. Even if this Chelsea project is still a beautiful one in the eyes of many. And, you know, words are such a great sell. But unfortunately, when you finish 12th in the Premier League and you're the laughing stock of England and Europe throughout a season, your position is teetering on the are we so beautiful anymore? And that's the position that Chelsea are in. The next piece of news, which is a good one and a beautiful one in a sense, because we're in the position to say no. We might be looking to sell half the squad, but one player that we do not want to lose, and I believe cannot afford to lose, is Levi Colwill, who Brighton today have submitted an outright £30 million bid to Chelsea Football Club, which is a disgrace. By the way, when you spend 60 million on Cucurella, right, Brighton, now you understand the market value of players. Levi Colwill, one of the Premier League's best centre-backs this season, and you come in with a Looney Tunes bid of half the value of what you sold Cucurella for? Are you lot okay? Is it the sadness of losing McAllister? Maybe Caicedo? De Zerbi is there, but like, are you alright? 30 million quid is a laughing stock of a bid for a player with so much potential, but not just potential. Levi Colwill walks into the Chelsea team next season. If we see a Pochettino, he loves to have ball-playing centre-halves, players at the back who are happy to have their ball at the feet. Silva's 38 years old, mate. This guy is the future of Chelsea's defence and the future of England's defence as well. So take your £30 million offer, stick it up your proverbial back end, and jog on, quite frankly. It's annoying. You know, like 60 million, we sell you Billy Gilmore for 10. Like, this is all just a little bit funny. Chelsea are becoming a laughing stock here, guys. I don't like it. I really don't like it. We got Brighton now making little silly bids because they got Europe. And Colwill maybe wants to go. I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't. The final story of the day is Mateo Kovacic and Manchester City, news revealed yesterday from Fabrizio Romano, being told the agreement on the personal terms between Kovacic and City is really close, almost completed. Right, hear me out here. Kovacic has been poor this season. There's been a big decline, as there has with everybody. Mateo Kovacic, brilliant footballer on the ball, dribbles out of tight spaces well, lacks a final pass, but you put him in a Pep Guardiola team, again, what I said about selling Mount to Manchester United. Chelsea here are taking a player who's got so much ability and giving him to Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. This just does not sit well with me whatsoever. Kovacic in a Man City team absolutely cooks. More than he did during his peak Chelsea times. More than he did in his peak Real Madrid times. Even as like a bit part player and Modric's little brother. Kovacic at City is just, it just works. In every single sense of the imagination, Mateo Kovacic thrives under Pep Guardiola, and all of a sudden we've gone from having to do a squad clear out to basically now, in the space of 6 months, selling every single one of our central midfielders. Jorginho's gone. Kante's not signing a new deal. Mount's going to Man United. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is going to AC Milan. Now, to round off the hand, Kovacic to Manchester City, leaving us with Andre Santos, great potential, Cesar Casadei, fabulous potential, 2 very good players, by the way, and Conor Gallagher in the middle of Chelsea's midfield with Carney Chukwuemeka, who can't even get a game at the end of the season when we've already basically given up on the season. We're talking about signing 2 central midfielders for this rebuild, this revamp. Make that 3 or 4, please. Because that's what we're going to need to do if Kante doesn't sign, Mount goes, and we sell Kovacic too. Let alone the fact that all of a sudden, we're already an incredibly young team, lacking leadership. We get rid of one of those senior players who's 29 years old. Something is just not looking right here. Tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm missing the boat. I know Kovacic hasn't been that player. He's not providing goals. He's not providing assists. His final ball into the final third isn't good enough. But there are so many things more in a football team than those statistics. And I think leadership, as this window goes on, we'll start to see how that unfolds in this Chelsea squad. But if Kante's not staying, I do not know how Chelsea can consider selling Kovacic. And even with Kante staying, the man spends more time at home on the sofa, unfortunately, because of injuries than he does on the training pitch, let alone the actual pitch. What are we doing? What are we playing at? And unfortunately, the more we see the likelihood of these players leaving goes, the more I'm wondering, how are these selling clubs when Chelsea come knocking on the door for midfielders? We're going to start looking desperado. And what does that mean? We've seen it before. Clubs who don't have to sell because players are contracted for longer periods of time, they just knock the price up. And because it's Chelsea and we're desperate and we got bucket loads of cash because we spend it every bloody year, we're going to end up having to flipping pay it. So, yeah, this one, Kovacic to City, earlier on, a few weeks ago, I was thinking, well, yeah, maybe, we've got a revamp going on, but if Kante's not staying as well, where is the leadership? Where is the age? Where's the experience? If Chelsea want to compete for trophies, City have got an abundance of players. Young ones, great, but also older ones with the know-how of how to do it. Kovacic has won 4 European Cups, and we're going to ship him off to Pep Guardiola to go and cook and become the player that we know he can be. Disaster. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Chelsea news is coming in thick and fast at the moment, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the like button. If you do enjoy the double daily uploads, which is what we're aiming for in the month of June and July. Telegram link, top of the description. Thank you guys for watching. Come on, you Blues.